Hey, what's up guys? Tom Peters here. Now, I don't usually make videos like this, but after seeing a rather controversial video posted by Worth a Buy, or I guess as he's otherwise known, Mac, I knew I just had to make a response. He's just posted a video about Escape from Tarkov, claiming that it's a pay-to-win game. Now, I've only seen his other video on Battlefront, and I did respect his opinions on that. That game is pretty bad. But now I feel like he's just trying to throw Tarkov under the bus with his wave of pay-to-win hate, which is kind of just bullshit. So I'm going to play a bit of his video here and explain why each point he makes is mostly just uninformed crap. So here we go.
Ah, bloody hell. What is wrong with people? What the fuck is wrong with people today, guys?
They like good games? I really don't know what to say about that.
I'm here to talk about the fact that even before the game launches, it's pretty much pay to win. And the community seems really horrible. So I'm assuming this video, once it gets anywhere near Reddit, that toxic community, there'll be the fanboys will cry. They will shed many tears and say stuff like, do your research, it's not pay to win, even though I'm going to show you that it totally is pay to win. But you know what they're like, the little fanboys, they're f***ed up in the brain.
So already he starts by saying that there's going to be a big backlash from the Tarkov fans, saying that they will tell him to do his research. It's almost like he knows he hasn't done any actual research because he hasn't played the game. It's also really interesting the way he talks down to anyone who might like the game just because their payment model doesn't work the way that he believes it should.
Okay, you buy the standard edition, $34.99. Guaranteed access to the closed beta, digital copy, and a basic stash, which is 10 by 23 cells. You get bonus equipment at start as well. You get a knife, tactical rig. Well, you can see, I'm not going to read them all out, but you see it's mainly, I don't know much about how good these are, but they look shit. You're looking at pistols, a little bit of ammo, more pistol ammo, a bit of canned meat, bottled water, a couple of med kits, a few bandages, 300,000 rubles, which is probably not a lot of money. And you get a AKS-74U with 2 magazines.
So yeah, that's the standard edition starting loot. And actually 300k rubles is quite good to start off with. I thought it would have been much lower for the standard edition. If we take that into Tarkov, here we can see I'm at the arms dealer, reputation level 1, which is what you start at. The AK-74U is 22,500 rubles. So if we want to do the math with that real quick, you would be able to buy 13 AK-74Us, which if you've played the game, you would know it's a pretty solid weapon. Obviously, you'll need to buy ammo and a vest to use it, but still, that's a good amount of a decent weapon. You would have to die something like 10 times in a row with the AK and a vest each time to lose all of that money. And at that point, I mean, you have nobody to blame but yourself.
But for $57.99, guys, that's a hell of a lot of money, that. $57.99. $57.99, guys, for a game that hasn't got a campaign. You know, it has a story mode which is based on, you know, it's all based on online multiplayer. That's a lot of money. You get the same stuff the other one has, except you get an increased stash size of 10. Yeah, okay, but you get all this equipment, the same old bull, but you get an AK-74 in with 2 loaded magazines, which you didn't get in the last one, a Sawela, a Selwa first aid kit, which I don't know, an RGD5 grenade, and additional backpack with 4x4 slots. That will be extremely useful, guys. That's a big advantage.
He thinks it's a big advantage. He thinks that the basic backpack is a huge advantage. Little does he know that there are 3 tiers of backpacks larger than that one. That one doesn't mean shit.
SV98 sniper rifle and loaded magazine, Silencero hybrid 46 silencer and an adapter as well, a pistol case, a 6B4368 body armor, guys, bloody hell, MPX machine gun and 2 magazines, and an M4 LVOAS handgun, and initially good standing with all traders. And you get more stuff up here as well on the other stuff. So this game apparently is not pay to win. The people who play this game now, because you can play this, you can pay to get into the beta, apparently this isn't pay to win. So I buy this game, okay, and I just buy the base thing, and I have pretty much nothing, a little tiny pistol, and I come across this guy here with the 6A body armor and he mows me down with his MPX machine gun. He's only played for 2 minutes as well. We've both just started playing, and we meet, and that happens. Who do you think's going to win that engagement? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So he assumes that a guy who's just started playing 2 minutes ago is going to bring in all of his best stuff at once, while he, on the other end, has decided to bring in nothing but a pistol. Well, first of all, that was his poor decision to choose just a pistol, because we just went over the fact that he has an AK-74U that he could be using. So, in his imagined scenario, yes, the player with heavy body armor and an MPX would most likely win, unless that new player got really lucky and headshot him with a pistol. The part of this that he doesn't realize is that all he was risking was a pistol, while the other dude was risking top-tier gear. It's just like gambling. If you put in a small amount on a small chance, you can win big, whereas the other guy is putting all of his best stuff on the line to gain what? A pistol? And besides all that, he doesn't even take into account anything else about the encounter, like who saw who first or who had the better positioning. But let's talk about the more likely scenario, which is that he had an AK-74U and he was fighting a guy with heavy armor and a helmet and an MPX in a straight-on fight, right? I would still much rather be in his situation than the other guy, because he's only risking a $22,000 weapon, and that weapon will one-shot you in the head even if you have a helmet. So the geared player is risking way more in a pretty much close to 50-50 fight. And imagine if he does win that fight. And imagine being the poor sap who just lost his heavy armor, his helmet, his 100,000 ruble weapon, and whatever else he had. That's what Mac doesn't get, is that none of these paid advantages are permanent. It can all be lost, just like any other piece of gear that you get in the game.
But apparently it isn't pay to win. And I'll tell you why the fanboys say this isn't pay to win. To do that, we need to go to their forum. People keep saying advantage. Yes, you will have some more stuff at start, but a bigger stash does not lend itself to victory, and a new player who loads his pack with pay-to-win gear, well, so he's admitting it's pay-to-win, this guy.
He's admitting it, guys. That's clearly why he put it in quotes.
Will probably find a way to die sooner rather than later. So basically what it's saying is that everybody who buys the £110 pack is a pay-to-win noob who has zero skills and is not going to have any advantage from that, because somebody is going to just kill him straight away in the first few seconds and steal all his stuff. That's the ignorance of these people, guys.
What's really ignorant is not realizing that that absolutely can happen at any given time, and especially with a player who's new and doesn't quite understand how the game works yet.
These people, guys, that are ruining the gaming industry. Look at this. It's not pay to win, mate. You start with some more items, nothing you can't take with a few hours grind. Well, that's not true either, because if you actually look at what you get this special crate as well, but no one knows what's inside it yet.
I don't really know what he's talking about with the special crate. I think maybe he might be talking about the secured container, which is certainly a slight advantage in terms of looting, but it doesn't give you any combat advantage. If there is actually some sort of special crate that gives you something, it's not going to be anything that you can't earn in the game. And as far as the secure containers go, you can buy smaller secured containers from the trader, or if you do the whole arms dealer quest line, you can get an even bigger secure container than even the most expensive version can get you.
But listen to this. Needless to say, it's even worse to buy all these packs, in my honest opinion, since you will still be a newbie game playing speaking. You see, you're only a noob if you buy these packs.
Jesus, the way this guy interprets stuff is insane to me. It's like he just puts words into people's mouths to sell his agenda. Nobody anywhere in that comment said that only noobs buy these packs. He's just saying that you are a noob when you first start, and if you're going with your best gear, you're probably going to lose it.
And the chances of losing all your expensive equipment are higher than a person who grinded through hours, days of gameplay sessions, already knowing the game and how not to die like a literal moron losing all his equipment. I mean, what the f*** is this guy talking about?
He's making a valid point. That's what he's talking about.
Definitely not pay to win. It's a pay to grind, some days less than others. Nothing to stop you from dying from a rusted Markov bullet in the head, despite you having a high rate of fire. The game has objectives. It's not a death match. I can still stalk you until you reach your objective and kill you while I'm unnoticed. Really, having more items and more expensive weapons means absolutely nothing. This is not Counter-Strike. This is more of a game of stalking and ambushing, where even lowlifes with a knife can kill you if successful. That mentality is the most moronic and ignorant kind of mentality that you'll ever see.
This guy keeps talking about ignorance, but really, he's the one who's ignorant. He hasn't played the game. He doesn't understand that it is that way. The game is about stalking and ambushing people way more than straight-on engagements. Generally, whoever sees the other person first is going to have a huge advantage and probably win the fight.
It's such an apologist, because what they're actually saying there is, it's like me going up to Mike Tyson and saying, Mike, I'm going to fucking have you, me and you now, to the death. And there is a chance, there is an absolute micro chance that I could catch him in the temple and he could be totally distracted, not dodge it or anything, and I could actually kill him. There's that actual chance exists, because if you get hit on the temple hard enough, you can be killed. But if I fought Mike Tyson 100,000 times, he would probably kill me with one punch. You see, this is so therefore it wouldn't be pay to win.
This is my absolute favorite part of the whole video. First, he compares a geared player to being Mike Tyson, claiming that the odds of winning against him are something like 1 in 100,000. So already he's blowing the proportions out of the water, because I've already explained that a player with an AK-74U generally has just as good of a chance as beating a fully geared player. It all comes down to skill. But the second part I think is extremely funny is that he disregards the fact that you don't tell Mike Tyson you're about to blow his brains out. You're supposed to be stealthy, sneak up on him, and kill him while he's not looking.
You see, this is so therefore it wouldn't be pay to win. Just these fucking idiots. That's the way they think. I have a sniper rifle, a big backpack, loads of first aid, loads of stuff. I didn't loot any of it. I paid to have that with cash. And I'm sitting there and I see somebody, bam, you're dead. I could not have done that had I not paid. So I've won that encounter by paying for it.
Except it's really not. And I can see how someone who has no experience with the game would think otherwise, but even if the sniper rifles were useful, the SV98 and the DVL-10, by the way, are complete and utter crap. Anybody who's played the game would know that. The sniper would still have to spot you before killing you. He acts like there's no level of skill involved whatsoever, and that just holding that weapon is going to make you win automatically. It's not the case.
It's not rocket science, this, you know. It's very, very straightforward. Very, very straightforward. And whenever I see devs selling this kind of stuff, I worry and I get my alarm bells ringing. But luckily, here's a developer commented on it all, and the developer said, this pre-order packs are also called founders packs for those who want to support the development and have something special in game. And that's all. Yes, something special like a fucking sniper rifle, huge first aid kits, loads of ammo, submachine guns, assault rifles, big backpacks, body armor. Yeah, something special, guys. Something just ever so special to blow the fucking brains out of all the little scrubs who didn't buy all of that gear. Oh my goodness.
See, now, I can tell he's really passionate about trying to stop pay-to-win in games. And believe me, I get it. I play games competitively. I played a couple thousand hours of Counter-Strike. I play Siege regularly. I love shooters, and I despise paid advantages. But that's why I'm one of the best people to tell you that it simply does not exist here. All those special things that he goes on about really aren't that special. Everyone can have a rifle at any time, and all it takes is one good shot to put someone down. So he goes on for a while longer about some other things that are mostly irrelevant, but he does hinge on the possibility of microtransactions or loot crates. And until that happens, you know, it's not even really worth talking about. But even if it does happen, even if somebody can pay $1 to open a crate and have a chance to get a virtual AK, I have no issue with it, because that just means there's something that I can take from them when I kill them. I'm maxed out in game. I have more weapons than I know what to do with, so I would never be caught dead wasting real life money on something that isn't even permanent. Nothing that you would get out of one of these crates would be inherently stronger than anything that you can get in game, so it doesn't matter. His other big point is that new players are going to get destroyed coming in against other players who, I don't know, purchased gear or whatever he thinks is happening. But that's not the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is new players are going to get destroyed no matter what, because that's what happens to new players in new games. They don't understand the game, so they get destroyed. No matter what, there's always going to be somebody with better gear than you, a bigger rifle, bigger armor, because they've been playing the game longer than you. You just started. I get that he wants an even playing field, I want that too in my competitive games, but this isn't exactly a competitive game. It's a hardcore survival first-person shooter. It's not meant to be balanced because real life isn't balanced, and this is a game that's trying to be as realistic as possible. The gear differences are what make it exciting. It's what makes it thrilling when you kill somebody with 10 times better gear than you, and you grab their gear and your heart is racing, you're trying to get out alive with it. But on the other side of that, sometimes you're going to be the guy fully kitted out and you're going to get destroyed by somebody with nothing, and it's going to feel horrible. You got to be able to deal with the tragedy of loss as well as the thrill of victory. I'm just going to address one more thing before my conclusion. This is a comment he made on the video because he was getting a lot of hate comments for pretty good reason. Pinning this to blow away the pay-to-win argument, and I bet no one can prove me wrong. The only defense you will see is totally irrelevant stuff like you can grind that gear in 10 mins, blah blah blah, which is not the point. So here we go. Well, first of all, that is a pretty strong point, so it's kind of odd that you would just dismiss it. If you can earn that gear that you paid for in-game pretty quickly, then what's the big deal? So if a game sells new players weapons and the new player kills someone with them weapons, he is paying to win that encounter, which by default makes the game pay to win. That is easily possible in this game. Imagine a good player gets all that stuff and kills a few people before dying. Sure, he loses all his stuff, but he killed a few people. That makes the game pay to win elements in it. You can't deny that because it's a fact. Okay, so this is crazy. First of all, killing people is not the objective of the game. That doesn't make you win. Getting out alive is how you win. So if you die after killing a bunch of people, it doesn't mean anything. Expanding your inventory, getting better weapons, getting better gear, that is the point of this game. He goes on to say that this kind of business model ruins games, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and it's going to ruin a lot more unless people stop buying into the crap. Okay, so to even compare this to Star Wars Battlefront 2 is already, ridiculous. Their models are completely different. Star Wars Battlefront 2 gives you paid permanent advantages, things that actually give you an advantage in a fight, things that increase your damage or increase your health. This doesn't do any of that, okay? This gives you weapons that everybody else already have, so it doesn't matter. The second thing is that while their payment model is pretty unusual, it by no means ruins the game. The game is a really fun experience. It's very unique. It offers something that no other game can really offer right now. And they're a small independent team of developers. They're not published by anybody. And furthermore, this game only really appeals to a small portion of people. It's very hardcore. A lot of people can't handle the experience because it's difficult. You go in and you're gonna die. You're gonna die a lot and you're gonna lose a lot of shit, and that's heartbreaking sometimes. I'm starting to rant a bit. So in conclusion, if you're on the fence about this game, you're not really sure if it's going to be for you, I would wait for the open beta. It's coming in a few months or so, and be your own judge. Don't listen to a guy who hasn't even played the game. That's ridiculous. And my message to Mac is, honestly, like you said, do your research. You have to play a game before you can really comment on it properly. And I know you're trying to make the gaming industry a better place. EA was a good target for that sort of stuff, but this is a small independent team, and they've made something real amazing. And for you to give it that negative publicity just because their payment model doesn't work the way you think it should, is kind of bullshit. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it. If this opinion swayed even one person away from the damage that Mac might have done, then it was a positive thing for me. I had fun making it. And if you want to hear more, just like or subscribe and let me know.